intelligent that have defined it differently. But like what we're talking about here is just like words, right? And how we define words. I can define it entirely differently than the individuals you're mentioning. So it doesn't really provide any sort of I wouldn't say utility, but like any sort of variance to the conversation to index to these other individuals if I'm not like abiding by their definitions.
Well, look, the problem is that when I give my pro-choice argument and then the response is, that's not what pro-choice is, that's just begging the question against my understanding of what pro-choice is. So that does become relevant with respect to them.
That's not begging the question. You can say, like, for example, oh, well, you have a misinterpretation of what I presume pro-choice to be, right? And then you can go into that, right? But to just say that, like, it's just, I'm sorry?
No, sorry, go ahead.
But to say that it's, I forgot what you said earlier. You said begging the question. You said something else previous to that. To, like, go index to all of these things. Well, I know the definition because I have sources. Like, that's just, like, that's redundant because we know that definitions are going to be subjective. It's going to be subjective to the understanding of the individual.
Okay, so there's a few things to respond to there too. So the first thing is that it is a question bag. It's not a question bag in the standard, the conclusion is in your premise sense. So question bags are actually like a really broad kind of thing. So it's the kind of question bag where the objection, negation, or the interlocutor presents a fact that contradicts what is already granted with respect to the first interlocutor's understanding. So it's question begging in that sense. But with respect to, well, let me finish responding. I didn't interrupt you. If I could respond, that'd be cool.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, you're fine. So look, it's not, again, I'll say it again. It's not a question bag in the standard sense, like the conclusions in your premise thing. That's not what I mean. It's a question bag. I can also give you an example if you need it. So for example, like, let's say that I am a naturalist, and somebody's like, well, naturalism is false because dualism is true. Or rather, because dualism is true. Well, that's a question bag because it's a question bag because it presumes the thing that's already in question, but it's not necessarily a conclusion. Well, let me finish, bitch. Come on, man. I'm trying to be good faith to you, dude. And it's a question bag because the conclusion. Listen, I keep getting interrupted. I can't finish my response.
I'm not saying anything. You just keep calling.
Okay,
I'm not even saying.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. Okay, so it's a question bag in that sense. Now, with respect to your second point about definitions being subjective, actually, as an Aristotelian, I disagree with that. I think some are nominal, I think some are conventional, but I think some are essential or objective. So I just reject that from the outset.
That's wonderful. So, I mean, that's just like, again, remedialism, because I don't see how words can be objective. But even if that was the case, then again, just reference to how you're defining the workplace.
I'm defining pro-choice?
Yeah, instead of just saying that it's a question bag, which again doesn't mean you can meet the criterion. But irrespective, I'm not gonna have that debate. It's like redundant. Like, just give the argument, give the definition you are using.
Generally, the act is morally permissible, or the standard case is morally permissible.
1 minute remaining.
Standard case is morally permissible. So, okay, so what would be the standards that you would apply to your argument in order for the permissibility of an abortion?
You're asking me in virtue of what is morally permissible? It's in virtue of, like, rational dispositions.
That round. Prepare for the next one.
Well, I didn't mention anything about virtues. I'm asking for...
No, I didn't mean virtues. Okay, bro.
I don't know why you're bringing up virtues. I'm not having a meta debate. You shut up. I'm not having a meta debate. I'm asking you for the conditionals within your argument that make it permissible to get an abortion.
So my tendencies or dispositional traits of rationality, I didn't mention anything about virtues. The term virtue, they're just meant to be referenced to.
Moving this way.
Vacation.
Everything takes harder than it needs to be. I don't understand why.
This is so fucking gay.
Misinterpreted the term virtue. That's not my fault.
I didn't misinterpret it. You're not answering the question. I'm asking.
Just answered it.
What are those conditionals?
I gave you a condition. It's a rational disposition.
Rational disposition based on what? Holy shit.
Oh, what explains it? It's on top.
That doesn't tell me anything.
I'm answering it. Just chill out, Stitch. Here, look. So what explains a rational disposition is its nature, as an ontic nature.
Okay. In terms of what? That's so vague. That could mean anything. I'm asking in terms of what? To your position. Holy fucking shit.
Look, Stitch, abortion is wrong because God said so.
Instead of just like presuming what I don't understand, how about you try not to be so vague about your answer? They're saying
I don't take the view that it is vague.
okay, what? No shit.
Next person, please. Fuck me.
Oh, holy shit.
Abortion is wrong because God said so. You want me to explain more? No, I'm not going to.
Flanking here.
Yeah, V, what's your take on abortion? Yeah, it's morally wrong now.
He's your moderator.
No.
Fair
So you're pro-life? Yeah.
Sure, this is Codex. It's Codex, right?
That's been one of my names.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next
I've
one.
been pursuing sobriety, man. Did you have any for argument?
I just have one last question, and I'm not pro-choice. Like I said, I'm indifferent on the situation. But so this is kind of like a random question, but like, how do you guys feel about like people taking Plan Bs? Then it's just like I was just wondering because a lot of people are
Friendly mosquito deployed.
okay, yeah. So
It incentivizes sex before marriage, and it incentivizes behavior that leads to pregnancy. So, no, I don't agree with that.
so what if people don't follow your religion though? Like then what?
Okay, then they should pay the consequences for when they have children.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was just wondering because I just didn't.
Yeah, it's not a relationship, but about having a relationship with God.
Like,
Secure. On to the next.
because if you take it whenever you would possibly like if someone doesn't like I don't know like if someone knows or doesn't know no matter what and they take that medicine like it's already attached to the uterine lining and everything that means that it's basically not miscarriage but like abortion.
Well, that's
Target
nothing
and
wrong.
destroy it.
It's already involved in abortifacient.
Yeah, that's spending mode. I don't know why people keep running with that. But again, I still wouldn't allow it because it just incentivizes behaviors that lead to the obligations that we're talking about to people that don't want to be obligated.
And if you're not religious, then you can just give the argument premarital sex leads to irresponsible behaviours that lead to a propagation of sexually transmitted diseases, as well as children that grow up in unstable environments. Yeah, we don't want those things in society.
I mean, I do understand where you guys are coming from. I would just like to say that before I get dropped down, like, especially with someone in the comments, I think it was me, she said something about, like, how it was disingenuous, but but this is one of the reasons why I was mainly indifferent on TikTok, like bragging about how many abortions they had, and I personally did find that that's why I'm like, I don't really stand in a specific area with this. That's why I usually don't. Sorry.
I don't find it to be the case that you're actually even indifferent on the proposition. And the reason I say this is because you have plenty to say on the topic. Your stance is pretty much, I personally don't like it, but I'm not going to legislate it about others because I don't know their circumstances, which makes you pro-choice by definition in that threshold, because you're saying that it ought, like, women ought to have the ability to do this. So you're not neutral on a normative claim. I don't think you can be neutral on a normative claim. You're going to have an opinion about it regardless of your position.
Exactly. The only reason why I said indifferent is because I've actually joined one of these, which is usually why, like, not his lives, like, not James's, but someone else had it, like, one of these topics, and I stated that, like, I agree, but only if it's, like, detrimental for certain things, and they told me that I'm not pro-choice, so then I was like, okay, well, I didn't know, so I guess.
It would depend on which cases you're saying. So, like, if you're just holding, like, a 2% exception rate for, like, quote-unquote medical reasons or rape, I mean, yeah, you could probably say that you're pro-life with exceptions, but many pro-lifers would just say you're pro-choice anyway if you get exceptions. So it's just like, it ends up being a conversation about, like, terms.
I do thank you guys for, like, especially Jack, for, like, the whole website and everything. I was actually reading that, and I, again, do respect your guys' opinions. I just wanted to make that clear, because apparently people think I didn't agree with you guys for some reason, but I will probably be in here just to listen in and everything. But thank you.
Real Will, how old are you?
18. What?
That person at the bottom, we will.
Yeah, I'm 22.
Alright, what's your take? What's your take on the comp?
Yeah, I mean, I'm agnostic, but I'm certain. I'm pro-choice.
Yeah. Alright, pro-choice. That was pretty chance.
Alright.
There you go.
I know you're finished.
Search and destroy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Move in and
That was
eliminate the target.
we already did that I blocked. Go ahead. What's your take? What's your stance on the pro-choice?
Yeah, I value sentience.
Moving here.
So if it is sentient, so like I said, I'm trying to mess if any, like that.
Is it during his codex debates? Because I'm his codex debate.
I don't know what discussing with that.
He's talking about the guy next to you if he wants to debate you instead.
What's
Why is that being essentially new? I'm busy right now too. Give me 1 minute.
Why is that important?
why is what?
Enemy movement.
Sentience of importance, determining value.
I would say I would rather just. I think when there's a sentient person and there's a non-sentient person, I would prefer to say the sentient person, just because they have. I guess you could say it would cause me.
Search and destroy.
The person.
141. Part of on the target and level it.
Yeah.
You've
What?
secured the device.
You need me to repeat myself.
Yeah, I need you to say it for the third time to see how ridiculous your statement is, because how does that even make any sense together?
Yeah. What was this? Me harm to not save the sentient entity.
Yeah, how is it causing you harm not to say the sentence?
It caused me psychological. Because.
No, I'm not even this conversation. That's like saying, oh, it causes you harm not to mention. It causes you harm not to mention R. If I don't say R, God
We're not
forbid,
there,
I'm
Ram.
not going to
Prepare for the next one.
Okay, like,
It causes me mental damage to not tell the story of the suit because I really want to share it to people. So when people mute me, when I bring up the Alzut, I get very depressed and I want to top myself.
Search and destroy.
Are you good, bro?
no, like, you just demonstrated why our race is like the third grade level of comprehension. Like, it's just very fucking sad what you just did right there.
Yeah, I told
You set us back to slavery, that's just what the fuck you did. And I'm not sure where you can pull up. Don't read a book. Go do something, bro. Because if that's your argument, I'm not even gonna entertain that. That's worse than the people that come up here and say that life doesn't start at conception. Like, come on now. I'm sorry, Kevin, but that was just like ridiculous. I wasn't gonna entertain that.
I'll a second on my
Psychologically, that's his argument of vile, like,
I didn't say that. That wasn't me.
No, I'm not talking about you.
I was talking about the host.
Saying, like, is it with? That's my real name. That's my name too, Kevin.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. Yeah. It sounded like so he values sentience because in the case of saving a sentient being or a non-sentient being, it would cause him more psychological distress to not save the sentient being.
No, that wasn't his argument. I asked him why is sentience something that would provide value, and he said that because if he was not to say sentience, it had nothing to do with applied harm. He just said if I don't say sentience, then it causes me mental distress. That's what he said.
Moving.
It's a weird position.
It's an uncynical one. I'm not gonna entertain that bullshit. That's like worse than people that deny science. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, dude, it's like if I said, you know, if this woman does not have sex with me, then I am going to do something terrible. It's just total coercion. It's a more pathetic attempt than even that.
You know, it's a good argument. If you guys don't say that I'm the best debater, I'm just gonna go on by myself because it must be the case that I'm the best debater.
If you don't call me the sexiest man alive, I'm going to throw myself off a bridge.
It sure is a tall bridge because you ain't the sexiest man alive.
I believe the locals call that, what is it, emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Round secure. On to the next.
why don't you come up, Miss Pro-Choice?
Bro, I hope that I get the show.
My bad, Stitch. Are you in the UK, Jack?
Yeah, I live in England.
Okay, so what are you bitching about hot for? What's the temperature over there? Let's hear it.
No, it's not even the temperatures because I'm in my garage. There's nothing in here. It's just all.
Is it closed? Are you in the closed garage?
He's a frog. Yeah, Jack's a frog. He spends his time in there 24/7.
On planting.
There's this guys that follow on TikTok talking about America's temperature in the UK is like, you can't see it's hot anymore.
Yeah, it's just so humid in here. I'm getting hot.
It'd be 70 degrees and people be complaining, and I'm from Texas where it gets like 115 on a regular day.
Yeah, but you guys not dry. You come to Alabama to do 110 with humid.
You think Texas doesn't have dry and humid?
Dude, I guess Small Springs, I used to live.
Isn't most of Texas a desert?
Yes, I've been there too.
No, I'm just shocked at the fact that this other Kevin.
Oh, come on, 1 second away? I was in the animation of Melee.
Humid, right? Because of the condition, it gets from 115 to about 40 degrees. The humid stays, and as it gets warmer, it gets more humid. And then
There's clearly lag.
in the afternoon, it's just dry heat. So you're telling me that those conditions are not as bad as Arizona?
Dry heat springs is really bad. Dry heat is not nearly as bad as humid, to be very clear.
I don't know. We have both. I don't know if you guys ever lived in Texas, but you wake up with very fucking hard humid heat. And then you go to bed with dry heat, and that's shit.
I'm sat out front here in my garage, cracked open now. I was working on the motor on this trimmer, and it was getting so hot, and I was trying to do soldering. And even like this fresh cable put on there, I was trying to fix my door as well because these were all loose. That's actually just a bit loose on your time now. It's still not done that one because I'm trying to hop into either reach it. And I was just in the back there where I've got the fridges and freezers and the backs of them flatted, so it's all drifting towards the workbench. So I was just stood there getting hot and humid, and it sucks.
Hey Jack, nice garage.
Yeah, it's packed full of shit. It's so tight and cramped in here.
To the next one.
Bruh.
Where I'm sat down now, I have to move this chair to
Switching sides.
I'm in between making pork chops and gravy or Italian, zesty Italian herb chicken.
Hey guys, I'm back.
So great. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably start on verse 10 in 1 Corinthians 2. It says, "But to us God revealed them through the Spirit, for the Spirit searches all things, even the depths of God. For who among men knows the depths of a man except the spirit of the man which is in him? Even so, the depths of God no one knows except the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, so that we may know the depths graciously given to us by God. Of which depths we also speak, not in words taught by human wisdom, but in those taught by the Spirit, finding spiritual depths with spiritual words. But a natural man does not accept the depths of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, and he cannot understand them, because they are spiritually examined. But he who is spiritual examines all things, yet he himself is examined by no one. For who has known the mind of the Lord that he will direct him? But we have the mind of Christ." Number 2, did you know that we're oppressed? Who said that? Whiskey Tango Fox.
Prepare for the next one.
If this is what oppressed looks like, then I don't want to be not oppressed. Yeah. What's the opposite of oppressed?
I have no idea, actually.
Scooter, that was 1 Corinthians 2:10 through 16. Yeah, that's exactly the verses I would point people to. Yeah.
Friendly mosquito deployed.
I'm gonna have to go through this book I have because they have like under judgment. So I don't know if you were here when I was talking about virtue. I have this book on where to find it in the Bible, and it just lists like I think it's over 3,000 different topics.
Oh.
Very helpful. It is, and I'm gonna have to go through and highlight which ones are like specifically topics and verses that are like really helpful, because some of them are like when it says judgment, it's referring to like
Hostiles deployed a mosquito. 1
like
minute
when I go to
remaining.
judgment, it's talking about and then there's literally like probably
Enemy
40
bomber
different
down.
verses in here.
Oh, I wonder where the verse where for Pope is in.
It's not in there.
Will you take a picture? Will you take a picture of that book post and put it in one of the chats?
Some of it, I will admit, some of it's a little bit up for interpretation. I think it's a newer book. So sometimes,
Round is
like,
lost.
I
Focus on the next
disagree
one.
with what it's saying. So,
Yeah.
great.
So take the chicken. Yeah. Take the chicken, leave the bone, kind of thing. That's my motto.
Yeah, we don't have that problem. You see, we have a church, you know.
Search and destroy.
I don't know who gave you permission to speak. The magisterium isn't here, so.
Move in and detonate the target.
This was my last already gone.
Wait, why was my free speech violated there?
You don't get free speech. World right now.
You've got the bomb.
Have y'all been having good conversations, or was Aaron y'all's first?
A couple of people. So I restarted. We had a couple people that wanted to talk about the second prompt. It was good. There was one girl that seemed
Final minute.
pretty. She was gay, and she had walked away from the faith because of it. And I, tried to relate to her, which is why I'm, doing this, because I want to encourage people, that, you can't be gay and a Christian. And, the reason why I'm doing that is because of my past. And I want people to realize, that it is a sin. And I also want people to realize that there is faith and hope in Christ. And, yes, I hope that I can lead people the way that I'm capable of leading people.
Wait, was that the one that when he asked if they knew what the gospel was? They didn't know?
No, the one after.
Search and destroy. 141. Plant a charge on the target and level.
She said she was somewhat receptive.
A little bit.
She seemed to be.
Moving to my mark.
She seemed to be. She's been hurt by people, and I understand that because I've
Hostile bomb drone.
been there, and I understand it, but you ultimately have to put your trust in Jesus and forget about the people that potentially hurt you, and it's hard to do
Mission compromised. We failed.
We want to remember what those people have done, but you just have to do it. And I think that she seemed more receptive to understanding.
Yeah.
Yes, you might have contention.
It was one of those things, those conversations where you can tell the person is really thinking about what's being said. She would get really quiet and you could just almost hear her think. And then she would say the next thing. And it was a really good conversation. Post, you clip Scooter?
I did clip Scooter.
Wait, who hasn't clipped Scooter? Well, I haven't.
It's funny because I clipped Scooter for having the beliefs that I now have.
Well, y'all, I gotta submit my heart patriarchy in the chat. I have the turntables. Isn't that what the guy says?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you told me a year ago that I would be hanging out with, like, people with abolitionists,
A bunch of anti-feminists.
and it was like in a group chat with Scooter after clipping him, and the conversation that him and I had was so contentious. After that conversation, I got off the live and I was so overcome with emotion. I was like, I can't stand Scooter. Like, how dare he? And now I'm just
1
like,
minute remaining.
that was just the truth. He was just being truthful with me.
Make that, Char. You cannot say that to me.
Yeah, they're like promoting self-deletion down there.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, get rid of them.
I'm blocking you, Char. Like, for real. Like, I'm going to your profile and I'm blocking you, and I'm coming back over here and blocking you. I blocked her from the live.
Wait, why did Cajun block me? Wait, why did Cajun block me?
Just whenever you guys block people, make sure you're not blocking make sure you're not blocking words, because
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of notifications to block certain words that was in the comment that they posted.
Yeah.
Device in place.
I
Countdown
think
started.
you're a troll. I don't like trolls.
I'm not. I'm legit.
Car's gone.
I think that you're just a liar. And are you trying to protect? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm being very upfront and bold and honest about my feelings about you.
Technically, everybody lies, but
Well, I think that you're like the biggest liar. I think you're not even repentant of it.
Our device was disarmed.
You said, well, everybody
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one.
well, I don't really know what she's talking about. I don't really know what she's talking about, so I can't really address what she's
Yeah,
saying.
you say, oh, I just prayed to Marion, and I call you out and say, do you pray to Marion? And you say, no, I don't pray to Marion. Here's a big contradiction.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it is pretty obvious what I meant by that.
No, it's not obvious what you meant.
So anyway, Post, you are a prime example of what we were talking about a while ago. How when someone's under conviction, they will say and do things that people are like, whoa, what just happened? And then you see that person's just break away from them. Yeah. And you are super mushy, which is wonderful. It's a great place to
Ready for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had such a hard heart. And I try not to like get into too much, except to like think about how much I've changed.
Yeah.
But my gosh, I have changed, and only to like bring glory to God too. And I will sing praise to Him every day of my life because He changed me for the better, and I am so grateful for Him. And I'm so grateful that I get a chance every day to bring praise to Him and glorify Him for what He's done for me. And I just hope that I get to, see Him work through other people the way that I got to experience Him working through me, because I just, I prayed for that change, and to get to actually experience it is so world-changing. And I never expected to get to go through something like that. And so I just hope and pray that I get to experience other people going through that, because it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to look back and see, like, the groundwork that God was doing that brought to salvation. Like, the conversation with Scooter, they were saying, this lifestyle is wrong, like, whatever. There were little things that God was using to soften your heart, and instead of you hardening, you were softened, and it's really cool to witness that. I agree. So cool.
You've got the bomb.
It's like it was predestined or something.
Hello, Rosie. Can I get your age, please? Okay, I'm underage, but I'd just like to say one thing. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for being honest, though. You can ask your question or say what you want in the comments.
As long as it's the 18+ thing, doesn't really matter.
The round is lost. Focus on the next one.
Thank you for being honest, though, Rosie.
Yeah, it's a TikTok thing. It's not anything against you. TikTok has
I mean, to be honest, even if it wasn't, do you really think a person below the age of 18 is going to say anything rational?
I also just don't want to talk to minors about the topic of abortion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see an issue with, like, going to high school and talking to them. But on here, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's just so private, it feels.
Yeah.
Hello, can I get your age, please?
21.
Okay. Okay, and are you a Christian?
Yes.
Awesome. What are your thoughts on the background?
Abortion is murder. I agree. You can't be gay and a Christian. This one, I kind of disagree because, for example, a man that is attracted to other men but doesn't act on it and prays to God every day, so his feelings change, and I think they can be Christian.
Yeah, I would just say that that's a person struggling with SSA. That's not an actual homosexual. Someone who's a homosexual is somebody that's actually engaging in the activity.
Okay, then, if that's the point, then I agree. Have a very nice day. God bless.
Yes, God bless.
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna say I actually agree with his point, because, yeah, I was gonna agree with that because I didn't really know what you meant. Do you mean you have to practice it, or do you have to have the attraction?
Yeah, so I would say having the attraction, which is same-sex attraction, like, that's something that a Christian can struggle with. Like, a Christian can struggle with temptation and still be a Christian, right? But once you engage in that activity, once you're engaging in the sin, that's when you can no longer be a Christian and engage in the activity.
Oh, okay, I see.
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one.
Rosie is requesting backup. She's saying she's 18.
I'm just gonna play it safe and say that she's probably lying.
No, in America, 21 is not an adult. I mean, to drink, yeah, but she doesn't even sound like, she sounds like a kid, too.
Yeah.
Watch the objectives.
Well, she said I'm under, I thought she said I'm under 18.
She said she's underage, or she said she's
underage.
Said, like, she's a child, or she was a...
Yeah, in America.
She's 18, but in 21, or in America, she thought that 21 was the age for an adult. No. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah,
it's the same. Lord.
I'm just gonna play it safe because it says 18 plus on the background.
Yeah.
And she could have saw that and knew that she was okay to come up.
Right. So, are there any other abolitionist bills being, like anything like Tennessee and any other states at the current moment?
I mean, there's always something going on.
So, what is... I think I asked this multiple times, but, like... So, after a bill is, like, heard, what happens after that? Does that mean it's into law? Codified? Or...
They have to decide whether or not they want to vote on it.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Depending on the state, all the states have different procedures for how they do things, how they pass the bill into law. But like in my state, it's heard. Well, it's read in on the, depending on which side of the legislature it's on, it's read on the floor of either the House or the Senate, and then it has to go through another reading if it passes the first reading. And then if it passes the next reading, then they will put it on the calendar in a committee to be heard in a committee. So that's just the very beginning of it. But it has to pass through committee and then be sent back to the floor of the House or the Senate. And the bill has to have a convenient bill on both sides. Like there can't be one on the House and then it passes all the way through and goes to the governor's desk. There has to be a bill on the House side and a bill on the Senate side, and both of them have to pass all the way through in order to be signed by the governor and become law.
That's a lot of steps.
Yes, it is. And like this last legislative period, we had I think it was around 8,000 bills, and not near that many were actually even read
on the floor.
Wait, 8,000 abolitionist bills?
No, not abolitionist bills, just bills in general. But it's really difficult to get a bill to pass through. Now, that's not saying it's not going to happen, because I believe it will. There are states that have gotten close to doing that, and they're getting closer every session.
Okay, I see.
Like, we really need someone, not necessarily an abolitionist as governor, but someone at least abolitionist friendly, or that would be like in the case of slavery. Abraham Lincoln was not an abolitionist, but he saw that he had to sign that, had to abolish slavery because that's the direction that it was going. You had to go in the direction that the abolitionists were taking it.
Okay, I see.
So that's what we're seeing in some of these states. The legislators, the governors are seeing that where the train is going, and they're going to get on board.
Okay, I see. Makes sense. Long process, I can see.
Yep.
Is there like a certain amount of time, like a bill, like how long does it take to even get to that stage?
It depends on the state again. Like in Texas, our legislation period is 5 months, but they don't have that full 5 months to get the bills in and get them signed by the governor. They have less than that. And it's only every 2 years.
Oh, I've heard about the 2 years. I've heard about that before.
Yeah, it's not. Some states have sessions every year. We don't. We have it every other year.
Okay, I see.
Moving this way.
And it's an odd number of years. So this year is not a session. This is an election year.
Okay, that makes sense.
Get ready for the next one.
Fortunately, not much progress is being made in the liberal states.
Switching sides.
Well, we do have abolitionists in some of those liberal states.
Search and destroy.
I mean, it's still working. Yeah.
Place the charge. Detonate the target.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
You've secured the device.
It can be discouraging, but I tell you, I'm in one of the reddest states, and it's pretty discouraging for me because, you would think that we could get this passed, being in such a red state, but no, we have to fight against the pro-life movement, right? Every step of the way, they're the ones choosing our bill.
Yeah, two sides of the same coin, really. It doesn't really make a difference sometimes in grand scheme of things.
We don't really even have to worry about the pro-choicers. They're not the ones showing up to steal our bill.
So pro-lifers will do it for them.
Yep. And they'll gang up together on things.
Search and
It's
destroy.
so weird.
Yeah.
On this app too.
I was always hoping that they were just saying that to be politically correct. Oh, we don't want to prosecute the women, but they're already in power, and these bills could be passed in those states, but I don't know why they really believe in this mentality.
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy.
Alright, I might end.
We should play Fortnite later.
I think Heather's live if we want to go over there. Okay.
Okay. Alright, God bless everyone.
God bless. God bless.
So I made that they're alive. So can we do that? So can we do
It doesn't matter.
sentient? And see where they
On your nutrients depend on you to like be alive, stay alive, whatever. I think whether you want that to occur or not, you have an obligation, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. I look at it as like just as a parental obligation with a newborn. You have this certain obligation when you keep that newborn. You have to keep them alive, keep nutrients, of course, the best of abilities.
And if you don't want a kid, I mean, it's simply don't have intercourse. You don't have,
or just carry, right? You put this being in a state of pendency. There's 9 months, and put up for adoption if you don't think you can take care of a kid. Infants go into adoption. Just to put that out there, they don't go into foster care unless that parent wants that child back eventually. But that doesn't really happen with newborns. They usually sign their rights over, all of these things. They can also do this during pregnancy. I think people don't know that.
No, I hear that. And my thinking, though, is, like, I know how I would conduct my personal self, right? But if we're looking, because we're talking about possibly, like, changing laws in a country, right? So to make it sort of one way for all people, that's like what people want, right? That's why they vote a certain way, so that certain access is stopped. But when we're talking about something so personal for everyone, like that's where I have this hard time. Like, would it even work? Would it work to stop the chance at that realistically? Like, think about how many people like conduct their lives. Like, is this something that can really be handled on the state level?
I personally would think so. I think there are also some deeper topics with I do think the exception would always be there. I don't think the great exception will always be there if there is, like, they're taking the rights to abortion away or whatever. But
we lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Switches side.
Where I think people get lost a bit. And also, it's not an easy thing to answer. It's not. I wouldn't say I have all the answers to it.
I think I do agree that it's a harder topic, but that's why, like, within, like, abortion debates, whatever, you start with the electives. So, like, any reason, healthy mom, healthy baby, consensual sex, and then you go from there, because a lot of people, I mean, I would say it's more logical to take away the right to abortion than, say, the insane people who hold the stance of, like, all 9 months, any reason. Like, people genuinely believe, like, even day before birth. It's not all, and I wouldn't say it's a majority or even half, but I feel like it's more logical, because we do acknowledge when it comes to, say, like, human rights, right? We obviously know the fetus is a human. We obviously know they're alive.
If you deny that, then you're lost already.
And there's another thing.
I have a question for you, Safe.
The women that are getting abortions in this generation are mostly women that are happy to get rid of a life that they sat there and had gladly made it in the bed, created a life together. And then these are the same women going to the abortion clinic, paying $600 to get rid of a child, and then going out the next weekend after, spending about $700-800 at a club, at a bar, getting drunk, getting high.
Wow, what do they live in, Beverly Hills?
I mean, in reality, abortions are pretty expensive. Like, insurance, like, I know you wanted to ask me a question, but, like...
Yeah, I have a question for you, yeah.
Yeah, so, I hate giving anecdotals, but, like, when it comes to pregnancy, right, a lot of, I would say in this economy, women are qualified for, like, assistance, Medicaid, whatever, because of the economy. A lot of women can't make this much or don't make this much. Or just the fact of they are pregnant. Like, Medicaid most likely will approve you, or say 50% of the time will approve you for Medicaid because you are pregnant. They did for me, but I've actually called abortion clinics just to, like, experiment, right? I'll say, like, I was 10 weeks along. I just want an abortion. I have insurance. I had, at the time, Medicaid and my dad's insurance. So I had two pretty good insurance. They wouldn't cover it.
So my question is, when you say, right, that the program, I think at the end of the day, it's up to the person that wants to gotta put the choice, whatever. But my issue is, and I don't want to ruffle anybody's feather, and I've been to a couple of groups lately, political this, and I happened to see this one, and I came in, and a lot of anti-AB group of leaders, people that are educated on the subject, they do agree with me when I ask them this now. They have no problem. There's a difference between pro-life and pro-life. They said afterwards, we don't care. I said, because I don't see any anti-AB groups asking for more money for foster home, for child care. They go, no. My concern is that the child is born. That's a child born. That's not my concern.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, like, I'll say, like, for me, right, at 18, I took in a foster brother for anti-abortion are the ones contributing. A lot of them, yes, are kind of crazy. I don't say it's yes, to an extent, if they're like that, I would say that's pro-birth, and they just don't get into it. I've never heard that, but when it comes to, like, saying you're pro-life, right, yes, to a certain extent, that extends out of the womb. Then I would just ask about pro-choice, right? So pro-choice is within pregnancy, within the womb, whatever. But then when you say, well, are you going to give the woman the choice after pregnancy? And they said, like, if I say, can I just unalive my newborn because it's my choice, their financial burden, and I want to go back to college, like, give them A, B, and C, and they're obviously going to say no. And then I would just say, well, you're not actually pro-choice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I said, besides being the person's choice, whatever, I'm in favor of ABs. And again, I'll step on eggshells very lightly. I just don't want to pay for housing, Section 8, incarceration, because it's a large percentage of a lot of women that choose not to have babies, and they can't afford to have that child psychologically, education-wise, and for many reasons. And bottom line, I don't want to, if somehow people can find homes for all of them and they'd be okay, I got no problem with it. But my only problem is I don't want to support the child. I don't want to pay for Section 8. I don't want to pay for food stamps. I don't want to pay.
I would say there's no, like, I was kind of explaining to Sylvia, there's you have an obligation once you put being into a state of dependency. Once you are able to have,
like a baby.
So, there is, I personally believe, and I think a lot of people
say this, do not interrupt the live, and please do not interrupt her while she's talking, because you will get kicked from the live.
I mean, I think there is an obligation once you put a being into a state of dependency, but once you are able to pass that obligation off, I'm not against that. I know a lot of people try to, like, say foster care is not good,
that, obviously we know that the foster care system needs to be looked at again and reformed or whatever. But like I said earlier as well, newborns go into adoption unless that parent signs, they go into foster care because that parent wants them back. That's what foster care is for. Obviously, we know not all children go back to their parents due to drug abuse, whatever. But I don't think just because of education or finances that grants you the right to unalive a human out of convenience. I think, to me, that's selfish, right? I think you have resources. Once you become pregnant, you go to the OB and you state these things. They will help you. But I don't think people really want to do that. They just think, I'm going to take the easy way out. And that's not how being an adult works. You don't take the easy ways out. I'm sorry for monologuing, but...
No, but I appreciate it. You've been on point. And also the subject is, in most states after they took away Roe versus Wade, even Florida, I couldn't believe it, Ohio, because my wife was from there, they passed a similar thing. All the states, all the groups that wanted this to be taken down, even in some red states, they're voting for a similar thing, that Roe versus Wade had. So what I got accomplished, I think more and more people are easy. I don't want my son's life being ruined if he had a kid. I don't want my husband if he was cheating. I don't want to deal with this. I mean, there's many reasons. I'm just making an example. In 2026, people have become less fearful of God, and they're just becoming more and more accepting of everything. It's a shame.
Yeah, I agree.
I just worry about the financial. Like I said, even with, not to compare, I'm sorry, but you see the commercials for PETA and for the SPCA and for the Interpol. I used to like the old school shelters. They would bring the dogs in and they would just sleep instead of passing out. Some of them are bad buyers. They have aggression. They can hurt children. There's a certain things. I know it sounds rough, but sometimes there's addition by subtraction. That certain things need to.
Well, and I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, when it comes to, say, those commercials and dogs, I've worked with dogs for a long time. Protect, don't say anything. But, when it comes to those things, right, those beings are causing harm. I'm not saying, those ASPCA commercials, that's what those dogs are doing. But they were put in a state of dependency, right? Those dogs were, these people took in these dogs and then abandoned them, right? I would say that's the same thing as pregnancy. They put this being in a state of dependency, whether they wanted to or not, but they still have this obligation. When those people do those things to those dogs, they get fined, jail time, whatever. I'm not saying this should apply as well. I think to a certain extent it should. But I do get it, but at the same time, I think just the obligation, it overrides the reason. Because obviously, if somebody's not financially capable of taking their newborn, yes, they can put them up for adoption, but that would be a process after 2 months. I mean, if you're saying, I can't take care of this kid anymore, you can't just off them. You have to continue that obligation till it can be passed on.
Yeah, it's the whole saying that, because I'm born back in the 80s, if a 14-year-old child is pregnant and she chooses AB, she's a baby on a liver. But if she decides to keep it the next second for the rest of her life, she's going to be known as a walking Section 8, ghetto superstar, So that's a lot of pressure, not just for a 14, 15-year-old girl, but even a woman in her 30s or 40s. How many kids can I have? And everybody's down. It's a psychological pressure. It's a hard choice. It's a hard thing. And like I said, a lot of people they do sex because of different things. It's not just because they want it. It's a way of survival, to pay for food, to this. We don't know how millions of people live in this country or around the world.
Well, I understand that as well, but like I'm granted, in this economy, I can understand in many places it's hard to financially even support yourself sometimes. But that still doesn't grant unaliving a human out of that convenience. I think if you are not financially ready, and you, like I said, you go to an OB, they're going to give you these resources. They're going to give you a list of your pediatrics, or if something occurs, this is what you need to do. Oh, we left.
Is abortion murder? And if it is, why?
Is abortion murder?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess so. I guess
how old are you first?
Wait, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 22.
Okay. Continue.
I guess so. It is murder because today it is like a potential human life that you're taking away. But I'm very conflicted on it because at times, yes, I do think it's murder. But at the same time, seeing what kind of world we have with like shitty people and stuff, and seeing what kind of parents would raise some children, sometimes, honestly, I look at some people and I think you might have been better off aborted. And that might sound bad, that might sound horrible, but sometimes you see some of these people who either commit crimes or do really bad things, and sometimes you gotta tell yourself, their parents didn't have that many resources. They should have considered it. So it's a very weird thing.
You can be bad and have a bunch of resources. Like, you can grow up in a rich neighborhood and still be hooked on drugs and all that other stuff.
No, of course I'm not denying that, but let's not deny the fact that most of the time when you become a bad person, it's because your surroundings. 99.9% of the time. But I think abortion is murder. If it were up to me, I don't think anybody should be getting an abortion. But at the same time, it's not my body it's not my business sometimes.
It's not. It is.
It's not my business.
Yeah, it's different.
It's like yeah, people really care about murdering children, but then we abandon the foster care system.
That has nothing to do with
That's a different topic.
Babies don't go into foster care. Savannah just said this though. Babies do not go into foster care. They automatically get put up for adoption after birth if the parents sign their rights over.
It's not only that, but we force people to have kids, but then
you can't force a biological
process. As a grown woman and a grown man, you're laying in the bed and you are doing the deed. You know what's going to happen when you're doing the deed. So now you have to take responsibility of what you did, because it's not the baby's fault. It is your fault. You let the situation happen. You accepted it. You conceded. You did it consensually. So.
The great things of soccer seems to be America's.
Oh, it's not right.
I think we're getting emotional up in here. I'm sorry.
Yes, we can grant the foster care system needs reformed, right? I think a lot of people acknowledge that, but that still doesn't grant life, right? Like, if this child they end up going into foster care, hypothetically, or just say the foster care system is terrible, all of these things, children are alive. Do you think they should take the foster care children's lives because the system is bad, or do you think we should just reform the system so it's not bad?
I think we should reform the system, but clearly nobody else really most people who are pro-life don't care about it.
A lot of people, if you've been in if you go to pro-life lives, I guarantee if you bring up foster care, they're going to say not the same thing as adoption, right? But they're also going to say that's nobody's going to deny that. And a lot of pro-life are the ones.
I don't deny that they should say it, but action is different than words.
Right, and a lot of
people pushing for
Taking fire! Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area.
So yeah, someone ensuring people look at this as child sacrifice.
Check your fire!
Exactly. Thank you.
Oh.
18 shouldn't be here.
Well, that previous guy, I wonder what's this empirical evidence? Like, how do you come to the conclusion that people don't care about foster care? Like, I don't know where he's getting that from.
Yeah,
I prefer to be thinking, gosh.
I guess you bring foster care does nothing to do an abortion.
Requesting recon and
Yeah, pro-choicers are gonna come up or just keep calling in the comments. Thank you. Lena, how old are you?
30.
Alright, abortion.
I'm pro-choice.
Loading fresh
Alright, why are you pro-choice?
Because when I have a child, I want it to be because I want it, and not because I don't have any other choice.
Well, you would have another choice. But...
So what?
No.
I wouldn't have that choice if that was passed.
Okay, so you're how old again? Okay, so you know the possibility of pregnancy when it comes to sex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand why you would have that choice if you already know the possibility of it occurring.
As state control exists.
Okay, yeah, birth control exists, but birth control also fails. And you also know that birth control fails. If you don't, then I think you should go back to your OB and ask them. Because
what?
If you don't want a kid, then you just don't be doing stuff. Like, what?
I mean,
it's not hard enough to separate the legs. It's really easy to keep them closed if you do not want a kid. Why do y'all make it sound so hard?
it's 30. I mean, no possibility of pregnancy occurs after sex. Even if you're taking birth control, you should know birth control isn't 100% effective.
Yeah, that was actually the story of my first son. So my husband and I was on birth control, taking the pills, and then it failed, and we had my first son. But the thing is my dad is in the oil industry, so he was able to support me through all of those horrendous medical bills and complications. If I didn't have that, it would be an unbelievable choice of
as if there's not other options besides your dad. There's other options, like when it comes to finances or support.
Sure, but have you ever tried to apply for those?
Yeah, when I was on a micro pregnancy. When you apply to Medicaid,
there's like absolutely like they give you like a check and it's like, what am I supposed to do?
See, Lonnie, okay, so when you get on Medicaid and WIC and all of those things, I know it varies state to state, but when you apply for them, and you pretty much say, like, this is what I make a year, this is what I do, blah, 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 and then you're pregnant, the pregnancy itself automatically qualifies you. You just have other things. So I would say
qualifying has to do with
Medicaid and WIC, and pregnancy, and after the fact. I mean, from my personal experience, right, from my understanding, when you have these checks and these coupons and all of these things, say like the coupon is $40 for formula, that's a lot. I mean, that would give you, for those tall cans, it's like $20 you're paying. I know it goes to waste, but that's quite a bit. It's really generous, I would say.
Our cans are $15.
Cans?
Yeah, for a formula.
For a big can, for one that will last more than a week, they're $60. Like, if you go to Walmart, they're $60 for a big can.
Yeah, they're a lot. So, like, $40 is nothing for it.
A coupon for a big can is $30, $40. You don't think that's good enough? I mean, free? Hey, what did you say? You don't think $40 for a $60 can, like $40 off a $60 can, isn't like generous? It's like a
I don't think it's generous.
You shouldn't have to depend on the state to feed a child, though. You should be able to be financially stable.
I growing up every day for 6 months trying to hold a job. Like, that's not. That's not decent.
Okay, that leads to another thing. So, besides working, as women, do you believe in 50-50? Do you want to go 50-50 in with your man? You want to pay bills? You can pay bills? Do you want to be the stay-at-home mom that cooks in? Make sure everything's good. You don't work a 9 to 5. Your man works a 9 to 5. As I am, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't work a job. My boyfriend does. My baby, I live with my man. He pays bills. I don't have to work a 9 to 5. I was staying home sleeping all day until I had to get up and just cook some dinner.
Yeah, but not everyone has that option.
Not everybody has that option, but again, there are other options besides unaliving your child based off of convenience or convenience.
Because you can have 2 kids. So if you have a second kid and the first one has autism, how long do you expect someone? Like, it's just the trying to apply for everything is such a nightmare. It does not come off the
nightmare if you actually take the time to do it. If you're
basically trying to get any help.
What do you mean if the second kid has autism? Because I have a brother with autism. What do you mean?
I have autism.
I mean, I don't think she was trying to get at it like offensively. Like, are you saying like the second kid would have autism?
Well, what I'm saying, if you have an accidental pregnancy and other children,
you can't accidentally get pregnant. Like I said, you can't accidentally get pregnant. That's not how that works.
You can, because I was on birth control.
Okay, that's not
self-centered. There's 1% chance of that happening.
There's still a possibility. There's no accidental pregnancy when there's a possibility of it happening.
Your body is naturally designed to go through that process of pregnancy. So is there no part pregnancy? There's always a possibility.
That's usually good. Take pressure. Wait. Let's just do the host because it's getting all over the place.
Mission compromised. We failed.
Do you want to continue, Seth?
Sorry, I just didn't really know where that was going to go after that. Like, I don't think she was saying anything. I don't really know why that was relevant, but
she was trying to say was that, like, getting the extra support from, like, the state or the government for a child with autism is a very hard, long, and, like, strenuous process on the parents. So she's saying if you already have a child with autism and you're battling with the state of getting resources for them, and then all of a sudden you have a quote-unquote accidental pregnancy and you have another child in your care, it's going to be 10 times harder for you to get those benefits, supposedly, is what she's trying to say. She's not trying to be like,
So, like, what happens unless we just get aged to the street because of this accidental pregnancy? Like, that's not fair to say.
So you would just put that child up for adoption.
I don't say it's heartbreaking.
Okay, that's okay. It's more heartbreaking to know you are unaliving your child.
If someone had a fetus in one hand and a baby in the other and dropped both, which one are you going for? Okay, this is probably the baby, right? This is because the fetus isn't the same.
Okay, a fetus is still a child and a human life and all of those things, right? It's just a different stage of development.
Are you going to stay with an abusive boyfriend because he has the potential to get better?
I did, actually. No, listen to me, okay? I gave my ex the benefit of the doubt to get better. He did not get better. Okay, so I did end up leaving him. But here's the thing, you are comparing, again, no, lady, look, you are comparing, okay, a fully grown man to a baby, okay? I don't get what your whole point is with any of this, okay? Listen, just because a child has autism doesn't mean you go out and kill it.
I'm saying the expectation of a parent with a child who has autism and someone who has a second baby should just have.
You know that? No, you're just stupid because you
They're like
I mean, I obviously just stated that you can put the child up for adoption and like, well, that's part of your game. That's great. That's what we need to do. Right? Independency. Don't you think so? Like, we can't just unalive newborns to force hypermodes medical convenience because they were independency for adoption if we can't care for them anymore. Right? You would say, no, you can't unalive this 2-year-old because of these same reasons.
Loading fresh mag. Lethal going out.
Hey, can you like acknowledge what I just please? Lonnie. Like for real, so we can't because we can't care for them anymore. Too much. I can't show them whatever. We can't analyze 2-year-olds. We can put them up for adoption. Right?
Every objective. Take them back.
Lethal going out.
Hey, but what about hydroquest?
Can you acknowledge what I said? In limiting this that's great. Once again, I'm trying to be so like good faith with you right now.
Switching mags. Requesting recon at my location.
That's what she said. Of a fetus, financial reasons. We can't deal with the autistic child and this child. We're just done. Or do we put them up for adoption?
They would end up having to go to the foster care system.
Hey, they would still go through some type of adoption. Right? They would go into the system where you don't have to care for them anymore financially, medically, emotionally, physically, right? You would think that's better than killing them, right?
A system where they get emotionally and physically.
Taking fire.
Can you, like, respond to that, please? The third time.
I don't understand, like, a child is legacy. And it's there to say really it's like,
Lonnie, they are silly human life going through development just as a fetus is. I don't understand how so hard to answer. Because you know, it doesn't really logically follow if it provides a fetus for the same reasons. They have like 7, 8, 9 years younger than you, and I understand what I'm asking. They can't just respond and then they can talk about medical reasons.
here's the point that my kids say.
Because you're not responsible. You weren't even responsible.
You say reason that makes reasons. Responsibility is making exactly say something like you don't look at those reasons. It's already
Can you respond to what I just stated? Do you think we can do this to the 2-year-old? Is this possible?
No, I think we can do it.
Right, so why, for the same reasons, we can't kill the 2-year-old fetus?
Because it has to do with the definition of a fetus. And the amount of, like,
What's the definition of a fetus?
Loading fresh mag.
it's just a cluster of cells.
No, it's not. Fetus is just a human being in the stage of development. Also, I have a definition for that. Like, have you seen this as a, like, it's just so weird to say that as a definition of fetus is the offspring of a human and a mammal. So Lonnie, as a matter of fact, you're a chromosomes. So, with your logic, I can kill you.
Like, we're just all in a different stage of development. We're not even fully developed.
I should also say that it's a fetus until birth. Say it's a clump of cells, you clearly have never seen a child at 38 weeks. Are they a clump of cells to you?
No, but you haven't seen a fetus at, like, days.
Okay, can you... Okay, this is so stupid, though. When do women find out they're pregnant, Lonnie?
Weeks.
No, it's like 6 to 8 weeks. At release, it's like 4.
It's like,
like, I can show you
a child like over 12 weeks, so it's typically 12 weeks.
No.
Left-wing radicals are idiots.
Okay, Lonnie, so most women find out between 6 to 8 weeks. Elias is like 4 weeks, I would say. That's like rare. It's not rare, but it's not very common because your HCG levels have to be...
Almost got me.
So,
almost.
Do you know what a 4-week embryo...
Cluster of cells.
Okay, so does a fetus at, say, 20 weeks, it's like a cluster of cells?
The law isn't...
No, that's not what I asked. Not all laws are 12 weeks. Some laws are 9 months. That's not what I asked.
That's not
no. Other states.
Yeah, money. 30 years old.
Minnesota, Alaska, New Jersey, Colorado, and Mexico. I just named a few of the states that allow it through all 9 months pregnancy.
For elective reasons, not just medical, Lonnie. Elective reasons.
Yeah, because people's choice to...
Hey, Lonnie, do you think a woman...
Taking fire!
She... Some states are all 9 months. 38 weeks are also all 9 months for any reason. And it was 8 Like, why does it matter who is doing this?
It's the choice matters.
Okay, can the woman get divorced at 38 weeks?
It sounds like in the few states, I guess, but
okay, but do you think it's permissible? Do you think it's permissible for a woman to get an abortion at 38 weeks?
Yeah, there's plenty of reasons. Not for the ones that you mentioned.
Okay, so you think at 38 weeks where they could absolutely give live birth and just put the child up for adoption, they could just abort it?
You didn't say give birth.
Okay, well, either way, you'd have to give birth. I mean, in reality. Especially at 38 weeks, you would call that birth. Do you know what the procedure for, late-term abortions are?
C-section, probably?
No.
No. You think, wait, for an abortion? No, they would rip the child limb from limb, then remove.
Yeah, that's a picture. I'm pretty sure it's a 20-week-old baby because I looked it up. So if you want to look down at my screen or something, you can see what a small
I've seen that for enough babies from Gaza.
Okay, Lonnie, that's so insulting.
If I can turn on the big screen, that'd be great, so Lonnie can actually see what it is.
No, I can't, because then I would have to...
Okay. But Lonnie, they rip the child, late-term abortions after 20 weeks, right? They rip limb from limb, then remove. So you would say the woman can do this at 38 weeks?
Is she do an insult with the child from Gaza?
Yeah, she brought up there's plenty of children.
Gaza, knock it off.
That's
I'm just saying for a bunch of
that's
pro-lifers, quality of life.
It's an insult.
That's insulting. If you're bringing up Gaza, you're bringing up Gaza when it comes to children, right? Because obviously, if a woman is having a baby at 20 weeks, that's pretty miraculous that the baby survived.
What's the reason for, going back to the point, what's the reason that people would elect to have an abortion?
Hey, Lena, I have a question. What makes you so evil that you had to say that? Like, what's going on in that edifice?
Because you guys are so pro-life, but you can't.
Okay, that would go back to my. I don't care. That's pretty insulting. So if we're so pro-life and we're doing all of these bad things, whatever, we're not doing enough. Are you pro-choice? All like everybody's life, we can just do whatever we want because it's our choice.
I'd say yes.
Here we go. Okay, my internet went bad, but you said something pro-choice.
So pro-life, you're saying we don't seem pro-life because of A, B, and C. Pro-life is only like pretty much pro-birth in your head, right? Are you pro-choice for any reason, even outside the womb?
For any reason outside the womb?
Yep.
Like, am I condoning outside the room? Outside the womb?
Anything. I don't care what it is. Are you pro-choice anything?
Getting lit up.
Outside of
pregnancy, outside of the womb. Do you think women should be able to do whatever they want? I'll say that. Do you think women should be able to do whatever they want?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can unalive my 2-month-old crying right now because it's my choice?
No, and congratulations.
Right. So obviously we're not actually pro-choice, just as we are not actually pro-life together.
Just saying, like, regionally, like, it matters. And, like, women have, like, women can, it's better for the woman and man to, like, make the choice.
It's not their choice when the child is to live. They can give it up for adoption or nation that's left way to if they don't want a child.
So it's saying the option should be there. Like I should be able to want to have my child. And because the option is there.
Spicy, I gotta go. I'm gonna ask Homie. So, if you think it should be up to the woman on all of these things, do you think if she has been C-section, right? She's cut 7 layers open, all of these things, she's laying on the table. Do you think the doctor, she can ask the doctors who are like about to remove the fetus at the time that they can just cut up the baby and unalive it because she
doesn't happen.
I don't care.
Reality, that doesn't happen.
Lonnie, I don't care if it happens or will happen.
For the argument.
No, it doesn't. This has. You don't think some deranged woman mid C-section is like, I don't want this baby to live. I'm gonna ask this doctor to unalive it before we it because I don't want to take care of it anymore.
It is reality. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I mean, women. There's a woman that unalived her newborn. I don't even think it was actually fully birthed with a metal letter opener.
Yeah, it was on. It was. She was about to give birth, so like during the birth canal, like a letter opener. Yeah, that's in South Carolina.
You don't think that's possible that a deranged woman, would ask her doctor if they could do this?
Insanity.
Right, that's insanity. But you're wanting women to have this option all 9 months. You pretty much said.
Yeah, because at the very end, it turns out there's a complication, then you should be able to have the choice.
Why can't
hey, listen, this isn't working, I need to take this pill.
Okay, Lonnie, that's not how it works.
It is how it works. That's what happened to my sister.
Lonnie, you can't take the pill at 9 months. It's not going to be effective. It may give them, like, defects.
Exactly.
At late-term abortions after 20 weeks, it's typically they chop up the baby, right? And then remove it. You don't just take the pill out of, like, all 9 months. It's not how it
ask her a question, please.
Go ahead.
I mean, in the first place, if you were considered anyways, why in the first place would you have the action to actually possibly hit Dan?
Sorry, the button wasn't working. So I would think that under that assumption, I mean, birth control is super effective, but yeah, there is that 1% chance if you don't think I'm conscious of that.
Yeah, but it's no reason why I would need to get an abortion. There's no medical reason.
What perfect use that is.
Well, I'm just kind of curious. I haven't heard, like, you know, a single justification for a mother being able to settle on her child in utero. It's just kind of all been meta. So I'm curious, Lonnie, do you, like...
Oh, it's always the same argument. I gotta leave you guys with saying, Lonnie, you're a left-wing radical and you don't deserve to be on this live.
No one cares. But anyways, do you actually have a justification, Lonnie? Or are you just gonna, like, spit out bumper stickers and not really get to a point and not really give any basis behind it? Well, there's this... I don't know if disease isn't the right word, but there's plenty of instances where a child is born or is, like, developing with only half a brain. And there's a name for it, you can look it up, but in those instances there's just a very low % chance of them having a quality of life. So there's literally like Trevor Judge Goldtrip who lived till he was 12 or 13, who literally didn't have a brain whatsoever. He only had a spinal, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. I think it's spinal cord. Brainstem is what it is. He only had a brainstem, didn't have the rest of his brain at all. It was covered in cerebral spinal fluid. And then you have Bill Wall, who I can't remember what his condition was, but he only had 2% of his brain protected. Do you remember?
Yeah, well, the condition, it might have been anencephaly, but, like, wait, I'm not sure it was anencephaly specifically, but the point is that he did develop it later on in life. He had 2% of it developed later.
Yeah, what was his quality of life? He's still alive.
I just said he developed...
quality of life matter?
Well,
because if you're working off of potential, it does matter in those calculations of, like... What do you mean quality of life? Well, that's your argument for not having abortions. Like, not allowing that. I haven't even no one's giving me an argument on this panel. It's been a constant back and forth. I don't know how you guys aren't listening. And no one mentioned
we are, exactly. That's what the debate.
Sorry, two people are talking.
Sarah was the only one to debate you at first, so it hasn't been all over the place at all.
Yeah, but she didn't even bring up potential. You're the only one. It's the second time you mentioned potential, so what do you mean by that? Because I don't have an argument based around potential. Well, that's what... Okay. So you're saying that one of the reasons to not do an abortion is because they're in development and therefore have potential for life. No, I'm just saying you can't kill a child because it has half a brain. Because there are other individuals who have lived with half a brain or less or no brain, and they've lived perfectly okay with what is deemed as a good quality of life for them. And what's the percentage of that? High or low? What would you need to have to go through with the pregnancy and the birth? What is the... You broke out. I know, my alarm was going off, sorry. I'm saying if you go through with the birth, and, like, you were mentioning those two people who had a good quality of life, but that's a very low chance of that happening. What do you mean? Do you not think that people are willing to take care of special needs children? No, I'm saying there's a very low % chance that they don't just, like, pass away within the first day. Like, those two people simply need fine. Why? Well, that's not fine. What I'm saying is that why would we need to take an extra step to kill them prior to that? If they're going to die, why don't you let them have, like, you know, death with dignity or something like that, instead of ripping them apart and suctioning them out?
The cool thing is that it ends up being their choice.
The cool thing is you didn't address my, you know, statement there at all. You're just going back to square one.
Can I jump into this real quick?
Well, I mean, it would be pretty cool if you could actually give me a justification for abortion. I don't think you can, because you don't have one.
I'm giving you like 3, but I think like the issue is like, okay, so like the main argument is definition of a fetus and like when life starts, and the quality of life versus potential. Well, because, like, I'm saying what's cluster of cells, but you guys are saying that they're a person.
All clusters of cells.
We're all clumps of cells. I don't even know why we're talking about this. The majority of pro-choicers believe that it's human and alive at conception, as well as 96% of biologists. So I don't even know why you're even trying to question
biologists aren't telling you that fetal life is a person.
Person is interjecting.
Okay, so I'm person
right now.
But we gave her the definition.
Because that's what the argument over what a fetus is it's all around personhood.
No.
Yes, it is.
This is just a stage of development of like
that's personhood. This is a person.
No.
Personhood
is when someone deserves. No. Personhood means it is what determines whether or not a being has moral legal consideration.
Yeah, legal consideration.
That's what being art is. Fetus is just a term used in biology to describe the human development, and that typically happens after 12 weeks. So up until 12 weeks, it is an embryo.
Technically 9, but close.
Okay, whatever. 9. Where's Sherman's?
Well, I mean, either way, since she's making this person claim, what's a person?
So, yeah, that's a really big question, and that does, like...
Yeah, so what is it?
This argument.
Yeah, so what is it?
Yeah, so a person, I mean, there's a lot of different arguments. It depends on, like, which...
What is your definition of a person? Please don't cover this, or we'll try to answer it.
You guys are so exhausting. Just give me the definition.